going, oh, this just in, COVID came from outer space. It came from outer space on an asteroid. Don't take the vaccine because of the asteroid. And it's like, what the? Anyway, but they didn't say it like that. It was like a whole, it was all this series of pretend forks in a not decision tree. Yeah. It is really interesting. So, I mean, engagement, and I guess we'll come back to, this will tie back into your other questions, and I guess we're going to have to think about, some of the problematics of, the responses around the place, but even the ones who are seeking to do heterodox thinking and all that kind of thing. I don't know. It's it's really tricky. Hang on, ask me the question again. I just lost it. I lost my thread.
What's the difference between, and how do you articulate engagement or compliance?
Engagement, compliance, right?
Yeah, and that's because this feels alive in this question of safety, right? And protecting, yourself and the other.
It is really tricky. I trick my kids all the time, and you give them false choices. When we learnt this from the PR industry and the sort of, mass manufacturing consent that you need for great nations. It's like, do you want the whole apple or do you want me to cut it up? It's not like, are you going to, do you want to eat an apple? It's like, well, you can have the apple or you can have it cut up. It's like, you're going to eat the freaking apple, And I keep seeing this in like all the propaganda on every side, on everybody's weird take on COVID, even from my favorite is the Panspermia Institute, man. Panspermia, the idea that there's life in the universe and it spreads around on asteroids and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, there was just this like pretend news video. It was like it was set up like a newsroom. Going, oh, this just in, COVID came from outer space. It came from outer space on an asteroid. Don't take the vaccine because of the asteroid. And it's like, what the? Anyway, but they didn't say it like that. It was like a whole, it was all this series of pretend forks in a not decision tree. Mm-hmm. To lead people down, and in each fork you're like, whoa, I'm choosing, and it's all going to arrive at, COVID came from outer space and I'm not taking the vaccine. And all the propaganda is the same, whether you're like a weird, it's like, well, no, this is Dr. Johnson. He knows what he's talking about. He's a doctor of asteroids. I'm going to take my health advice from him. He's a doctor. They're all doctors. Jesus, I'm a doctor. Don't listen to me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But it's the weird. Okay, so like I keep hearing on my podcasts, when I'm listening, that this ad keeps coming up with like, what will your reason be for taking the vaccine? What will your reason be for getting vaccinated? It's like, oh, you get to choose your reason. It's like, well, I can't wait to get back to kissing on my grandkiddies. And like, I want to have parties and I want to go to her parties. And what will your reason be? Wow. Choose your reason. Choose your reason for having the vaccine. It's just like, oh my God, they're doing the same thing. It's this, these false choices all the time. It's like, and the same as I do to my kids when I want them to eat an apple, because an apple a day and all that keeps the doctor away. And I guess that's got to bring you to the problem we're going to have to dig into of who do you trust? Who can you trust? Because you can't be an expert on everything. You can't, and you're not a data analyst or a virologist. So which ones of those do you trust? Which I'm going to choose my person who's going to be my expert, and I'm going to just do what they say. There's a lot of problems with that, but we'll get to that.
Yeah,
as well, because that's part of the source of confusion in the space. Is everybody thinks they have to have a group of experts or an expert that is their brand of expert, sort of lines up with their unique amazing intersectionalities or whatever the hell is their basis for choosing stuff.